First time at the Dufferin Mall, it's full of Canadian chains, which to my American eyes look like ours, just with worse names. I've Mr. Pretzel smell in the air. Mark sells clothes a Mark would wear. It's the Dufferin Mall, might be, aka the Dirty D. Dufferin Mall, Dirty D. Spencer's Gift Spirit Halloween. I want to be a franchisee of the Dirty Duffy.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast presented by Amazon Prime. It's Wednesday, May 28th, 2025. I'm Jay Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, Tass Mellis.
Shout out to all my friends who've been to the Dirty D.
Next to him, it's the bearded one, my top shot hot boy, Trey Kirby.
Ayo.
Hey, yo. And last but not least, over yonder, making the magic happen, super producer JD.
Hello.
There he is. Here we are. Yeah, what a banger there.
Nice one.
Great mall.
It's
I've
a
been
store
there.
called Mark's.
Yeah. Mark's Workwear House.
Yeah,
It used to be called that, and then I think they just cut it down to Mark's.
Oh, workwear.
Yeah, workwear.
Oh, okay. I like it. I'll visit next time I'm there, which will be never.
Marks.
Mark's.
Hello to everybody on YouTube. Hit the like button, subscribe, podcast listeners, 5-star ratings and reviews for your boys. Do it for Marks. We got lots to talk about here today, but we start with Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals and Tyrese Haliburton posting an eye-opening triple-double with Pops in the building to lead his Pacers to the 130-121 victory. They now have that 3-1 lead here in the East Finals. Knicks are on the ropes, and in large part because they couldn't get stops there down the stretch, TK.
They couldn't get stops all night,
No,
I would say.
that's true.
Because Tyrese Haliburton was feeling it from the tip, doing it for dad out there. After Game 3, he said, that's not us offensively. We slowed down in the fourth quarter. We scored 100 points. That's nothing for us. So he came out super aggressive in the first quarter. I couldn't believe it when they said his line at the end of 12 minutes. 15 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 threes in the first quarter. He was looking for his shot. Yep. He was driving. He was hitting the step-back threes, and then he just kept it going the entire night. Finished with 32, 12 rebounds, 15 assists, 4 steals, and the big number everybody's talking about, 0 assists. Incredible performance.
0 turnovers.
That was a turnover by myself right there. 0 turnovers, though, but you look at how the Knicks played the game. They had 17 assists and 17 turnovers for the entire game. Tyrese Haliburton outplayed them from a passing standpoint, and then it just kind of all filters down from there. He was playing so fast that it really unlocked Pascal Siakam. One of the downsides to the Knicks starting Mitchell Robinson is that Karl Anthony Towns has to guard Pascal Siakam, and guess what? He can't. 12 fast break points for Siakam in this one. It felt like he was the fastest guy on the court. He was outrunning Towns after every miss, after a lot of makes, and then on every turnover. He was just a blur in transition. Then you would see Towns huffing and puffing on his way back. It hasn't worked moving Mitchell Robinson into the starting lineup. This has been an awesome series for Siakam, who had 30, 5 rebounds, a couple assists, a steal, a block, and 3 3-pointers last night. He's done it the entire series so far. 26, 5, and 3, 54, 50, and an odd 70% from the line. Guy just can't make a free throw. Very flat. 2 total turnovers for Siakam in 4 games as well. The Pacers take care of the ball. They get a ton of shots. They played Pacers basketball last night, and it was awesome to watch.
Yeah, the game started at Indiana's pace, right, Tass? There was 42 points total scored, both squads, in the first 6 minutes. That's Indy ball. I mean, this is let's get up and down. Let's run. And immediately early in this game, it was this obviously bodes well for the Pacers' chances to win this game as it goes on. If this is the type of game we're going to play, and putting up 130, we eventually got there.
Yeah, Tyrese was set. After Game 3, we weren't playing fast enough, and you could see him in the first quarter rebounding the ball and running himself. He had freaking 12 boards in this game. You don't see 12 boards from Tyrese Haliburton very often. The next highest Indiana Pacer was at 5 boards. So he was set. I'm running this thing every single time, whether it's a make or miss. You could hear the broadcasters say, whoa, how did they do that off a make? They would run led by that guy, rebounds and going. His shot type, you usually think, okay, this guy's going to splash threes. He did that, but he hit more 2s than 3s. I thought the variety was very nice. He got into the mid-range, and then he was getting to the rim with beautiful little layups, sticking his butt out. There were times when the Knicks just weren't good enough, and he was getting a little too close to the rim too easily. But 6 2s versus 5 3s, just a great variety in terms of the shots. And then those turnovers, 0 freaking turnovers. You look at the regular season, this is an extension of the regular season. There's 4 superstars that had 9 assists or more throughout the regular season. Trae Young, he also had 4.7 turnovers throughout the regular season. Nikola Jokic, he had 3.3 turnovers throughout the regular season. Cade Cunningham, he had 4.4 turnovers throughout the regular season. Tyrese Haliburton, he had 1.6 turnovers throughout the regular season. He keeps them low, and in this one, he was just preserving that ball. I guess the only turnover would be handing the ball to Dad after the game. I mean, that was for Dad, I guess, but the guy had just a variety. He was set on making this about the Indiana Pacers and how they play ball. So it started with him, and we'll always overlook. I know you mentioned him, Trey. We'll always overlook Pascal Siakam a little bit. He's that guy. But I'm glad you mentioned him off the top because the guy dropped 30. He just keeps going. It's the quietest 30.
It is.
It's so quiet.
His name needs to...
I don't know, man. He had so many dunks last night. He hit that huge 3 from the corner after the Mathurin pass.
Oh, he's a
Crowd went
monster.
crazy. He's been dominating in this series. Maybe you would say Brunson is the second best player in this series over the course of things, but Siakam's been a lot more reliable than him, so you could say the Pacers have the 2 best players in this series so far.
I was just going to say...
It's just more like storylines. He doesn't get the storylines. I mean, he's been awesome, of course, but more storylines about Neesmith's injury, Nembhard doing what he did in Game 1, even Miles Turner talk, Benedict Mathurin we'll get to in this game, just this game. But there's more talk. Pascal just kind of gets overlooked. He was freaking awesome, and he just does it quarter by quarter by quarter, right? The first quarter, he'll pick his spots. There's somebody smaller than him, he'll go at him. He'll do the right thing, and he liked to go at Karl-Anthony Towns in this one for sure.
I was going to say, his name rarely comes up when we talk about the best athletes in the NBA. It almost never does, and it should. He is one of the most in-condition athletes, best conditioned athletes, I think, in basketball. He gets stronger as the game goes on. That goes back to his Raptors days. That was a big thing. He just never tires, ever. For a guy his size and obviously his movement nonstop, what he gives you defensively as well. And he's overlooked, I think, in that department. But what a series, right? What an absolute postseason for this guy. Once again, and a huge game to go with Haliburton. And the 0 turnovers. I always think it's one thing when it's just a guard that comes in, sort of pounds the rock and just makes the simple pass, moves the ball. But that's not him, right? It's like you said, he's grabbing it and going, high octane. And for him to not cough it up once, to force a pass he shouldn't once that gets picked off by a pretty handsy, obviously lengthy defense in the Knicks, it's amazing. It's amazing that he just has that control of the ball to have the 15 assists and 0 turnovers. Man, what a game! And he played good defensive game for him last night too.
4 steals.
I thought was
you
one
mentioned
of
the rebounds.
Games.
That's the most rebounds he's ever had in a game. It was Westbrook in that he was able to turn defensive rebounds into quick baskets right away. That was super impressive from Haliburton. I also got to say, just a brutal game from Mikal Bridges. This guy got lit up last night. He's a good off-ball defender, and he does not have an answer for Tyrese Haliburton with the ball. Down the stretch, it was a screen and roll with Neesmith, who played an awesome game last night, no surprise. Gutsy performance by this guy to come out and play on a bad ankle. Didn't look bad at all, but down the stretch, it was Neesmith screening for Haliburton, every single time, so that Brunson and Bridges were both in the action. Brunson, no, he's no help at all. And Bridges is taking bad angles on the screen or getting hit by the screen, and that's why Haliburton was able to get in the lane so many times. The only time he came close to having a turnover, he threw one jump pass when he left his feet, didn't really know what to do with it, and then somehow still finds Miles Turner underneath for the basket. But you got to be disappointed if you're a Knicks fan to see Bridges play this way. He somehow scored 17 points on 15 shots. That seemed a lot better than I anticipated because the ball kept finding him in the fourth quarter for big shots, and it was just a brick fest from this guy. He was 2 for 11 in the lane, does not want to take a layup. He wants to take only fadeaways inside, and that's a risky proposition. And then, like I said, on defense, he was literally a cone. He was no resistance at all for Haliburton. And this is a team that shoots a lot of threes, but they want to get in the lane for the most part. So Haliburton shredding them, pretty bad stuff from Bridges.
Yeah, when Bridges has those picks coming at him, he's a trailer, right? He doesn't fight over the pick. He likes to just sort of play it by ear. He's a little bit behind, and he'll get there. But Haliburton got so much space, and so when he's playing fast, it hurts them. I would say Deuce McBride sitting on the bench is way better at fighting over picks and would have been utilized more, especially the bad thing for Bridges is that he didn't hit shots in that fourth quarter when they were calling plays for him. They were asking for it. Now, he's had moments throughout this postseason where he comes through in the fourth quarters on both ends. But with Haliburton's speed in this one, he was behind. So they're always behind. In the fourth quarter, it's like the Knicks are just behind every freaking play defensively.
Nesmith, you brought him up. No signs of being injured, really, here in Game 4 after some 48 hours prior. He's limping in the locker room. He had that right ankle sprain. But, man, he drilled 2 3-pointers basically near the start of this game. Both of them off of Haliburton, pushing it in transition. Then he had the fast break, big dunk from Nesmith there in the first quarter. He's, of course, picking up Jalen Brunson full court, still doing that, bumping him all game long. Really kept Brunson in check in this game. I mean, you look at the numbers. Brunson got his points. A lot of those came when Nesmith was not on him. When Nesmith was on him, it was tough. And then, 16 points, 5 of 9 shooting in 32 minutes for Nesmith. What a great game from him in a game where we're like, what type of game is he going to be able to give him? Okay, he's going to play, but is he going to be hampered at all? Not the case. When he splashed that 3, fading in the corner, it was like, okay, he's good to go.
Not the case at all. He looked awesome in this one. I said it was Nesmith screening for Haliburton there at the end. It was actually Nembhard because they're trying to hide Brunson on Nembhard. Nonetheless, the 16 points, couple of threes, that's cool for Nesmith. But you mentioned the defense. Cool. In the 30 minutes he played, Jalen Brunson went 3 for 13 from the field, scored 10 points. In the, I guess it would be 18 minutes he sat, I think Brunson ended up playing about 40, so in about 10 more minutes with Nesmith off, Brunson went 6 of 6 from the field, went to the free throw line 8 times and scored 21 points. Nesmith was instrumental in winning this game, and he looked completely unfazed playing through an ankle injury. It's the playoffs. He's not hurt.
No, if we didn't know that the guy got hurt, you'd watch him and say, okay, he's playing basketball.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Yeah. No worries about it. I don't know if he talked to Rick, but Rick helped out this Indiana Pacers team. I just want to give I'm just trying to segue to Rick Carlisle here. I think Rick Carlisle deserves some credit here. He made the small, tiny adjustments pretty quickly in this one. Knicks went small. They went with Achua. Pacers matched it immediately. Then you saw Achua to the bench. No more of him the rest of the game. Karl-Anthony Towns, the guy was balling. He was playing very well. He was scoring. He kept going left. He scored 24 points. They decided, all right, Pascal Siakam can stop him. We got to put Pascal on him. Third quarter, that worked. Good move by Rick Carlisle. Rick Carlisle, I think it just was smart in every little thing that he was doing. Also defensively, we weren't going enough at Cat. Here comes Miles. Here comes Siakam. Here comes even a guard. They were just putting him in any sort of action, and that helped out dramatically. If there was a guy who was hurt, I guess it was Carl. Kept grabbing on his knee, and that's an excuse, I guess, at this point. But, it is bothering him. There's no doubt about that.
He banged it there near the end of the game with Nesmith. Oh, my God. And then Ben Mathurin gave him a little spark. Finally showed up to the conference finals. This guy had a really good regular season, but has been brutal in the playoffs. But he was good in this game. 20 points off the bench in 12 minutes. Got a lot of those at the line, but man, this was a guy that scored 11 points combined through the first 3 games. He was a minus 31 in the series. He still is, because he had a 0 plus minus last night. But still, he was giving them a little something. I saw the tweet going around. I think Tony East came up with it. Prior to tonight, the fewest minutes by a player with 20 plus points in a playoff game, Leon Powell. Do you remember that game of the 2008 NBA
I do remember that game.
I know, game 2. He had 21 points in under 15 minutes for the Celtics in that game. They went on to win that championship. But now here's Mathurin with 20 in 12 minutes. And it's like, how the hell did he get to that many? But it was nice to see him give him something because he had been bad. What are you laughing about?
Well, just Benedict Mathurin scoring 20 points in 12 minutes and 29 seconds. Now the fewest minutes for a 20-point game in NBA history. It's just those random stats. And to see it over Leon Poe, 14 minutes and 39 seconds in Game 2 of the NBA Finals. I'm also laughing because, Benedict Mathurin, it took him 11 free throws at the line. 4 of them were sort of in garbage time to get there. And if it's them against OKC in the finals, there will be a storyline of if he is SGA's daddy, being also a free throw merchant to some degree, a little bit. I mean, that's
that'll be worse than the Battle of the Cousins if they go Mathurin versus SGA. Canadians.
Look, I'm looking ahead, but I am excited for Nesmith on SGA and Dort on Haliburton. My God, if we get that, that'll be fun as hell. Trying to slow those 2 guys down with 2 of the most physical, obviously locked in defensive guys. But that's getting ahead of myself. What else from this one? with the
I
Pacers
just think
going
it's
up 3-1.
hilarious. Literally in Game 3, Reggie Miller just said, Benedict Mathurin has been so bad in this series.
It's not wrong.
Sounds like a fan talking about his team, which that's exactly what's happening on the broadcast. But he was like James Franco eating pie in the first Spider-Man. So good. He was just driving. He was relentless.
Yeah.
And he was, I said Siakam was probably the fastest guy out there. Mathurin, when he was checked in for his minutes, he's like, I got 12 minutes. I'm going as hard as possible as I can. That pass he had to Siakam in the corner, he barely even caught the ball.
Yeah.
I think it was McConnell maybe fumbled it away, somehow gets to Mathurin. He almost fumbles it away. Instead, it turns to 3 from the corner from Mathurin. He is a weird player for this team. He's like the one guy on their team who doesn't really pass the ball, who kind of just goes out there to score, isn't getting involved in the actions, but that's what they needed in the third quarter.
Yeah, shout out to Rick for playing him a minimal amount of minutes, playing Ben Shepherd more off the bench. It's surprising that we're seeing Ben Shepherd this much now. At this point of the season. But yeah, Rick's playing the numbers correctly. And then when you got to go small, Obi Toppin is jumping in there. And again, he's the guy who made Precious Achiuwa go to the bench and not come back because they're playing so freaking well. Everybody. They played 5 guys off the bench in this game. You just wouldn't think that in a playoff game, unless you're the OKC Thunder, who they'll see in a week. It sure feels like.
Depth versus depth. What a weird game. It got sloppy in the fourth quarter. And obviously there was that part where it was a free throw fest. That was like keeping the Knicks around in the third quarter. Like there was that parade to the free throw line. They got in the bonus and there was just foul after foul after foul. And then it sort of flipped and the Knicks were incessantly fouling the Pacers. Took a while is what I was getting at because we did have that New York run, Tass. You said they could never get it to like a 1-possession game, but they went on a 10-2 run. And you're like, oh, here they go again. Like they got it to 6 and then Siakam splashed a 3. Oh,
that was
but that's okay. Bridges came
3.
back. He hit a 3. Okay, they're right there still. Haliburton, he counters with a layup. That's okay. Hart scores inside off his own miss. And so they were like hanging around, but then just could never get over that hump because mainly they just couldn't stop them. Turns out when you got to make the comeback, you got to get some stops. Like they were scoring. They put up a lot of points, but could never string together any sort of stops. And it was just too easy.
Well, they play 2 guys who can't play defense in Towns and Brunson. That's a problem to begin with. And then Bridges was, like I said, so bad last night that basically there was 3 guys out there who weren't doing anything defensively against a team who has been the best offensive team in the league that doesn't turn the ball over, that has been shooting like crazy during the playoffs. We've talked about best 3-point percentage, best 2-point percentage, and they're getting a shot almost every single time. It adds up. It adds up to 130 points. That's going to be a problem, though, for the Knicks. Like, going forward, like, how do they ever really build a good defense when your point guard and your center are giving it up every single time? Because that was the thing. It was like when Haliburton would beat Bridges and Brunson at the top for a screen, there was nobody inside.
Yeah, they need to make a move at the 5, really. It's trying to get somebody to replace Mitchell Robinson to emulate what the Timberwolves did with Cat and have a Rudy Gobert-like guy behind them. And I hear what you're saying in terms of Jalen Brunson. But you should have a center behind Cat, or at least allowing Cat to get out of actions. I mean, that Pascal Siakam going at him, you can probably live with that, even though Cat went skating in that third quarter. That one play, man, I'm surprised that wasn't all over the internet. I mean, he was literally skating. That was an awesome move. But somehow the Timberwolves built the best defense with Cat. And I think that's just the number 5. It's the center, really. I think the most important thing that they have to do.
Yeah, but they're playing Robinson with him as a center, and he's getting ran out of the gym by Siakam.
Yeah.
I mean, Siakam's lighting up Karl Anthony Towns in this series every time he gets the ball.
A little bit, yeah. Well, Mitchell just can't be out there. Mitchell's not good enough.
He also can't play that many minutes.
Yeah, he's not good enough, unfortunately.
Pacers 1 victory away from the NBA Finals, which would be their first appearance there since 2000. So it's been a long time, but they got 1 more still. Got to go to Madison Square Garden, where they've been great. Obviously, won 2 games. I think they've won 6 straight road playoff games, I believe. So they're gonna have confidence that they can close it out in 5. What's your gut say? Do we come back to Indianapolis? That the New Yorks give them, get Game 5, or is this one gonna be wrapped up like some people think might happen in the Western Conference tonight?
I feel like it's over. I don't have a really great feeling, but it doesn't feel like... Cat's obviously banged up. I don't know if I'm going to play into the injuries part, but they didn't have it in this game. Can they do it for their home crowd, considering they haven't won at home in this series, so maybe they got to win one.
They have been losing a lot at Madison Square Garden.
A lot.
Yeah, 3-5, I guess, throughout the playoffs at home.
Is that right?
I think that's it.
They've lost a
I think
lot
that's
there.
correct.
They've had a better road record for sure. In this one too, it's like, again, it's just the Pacers coming in waves. All these guys that check in are all contributing. It's always like keep your eye on the end of these quarters, right? It's like a 12-5 run to end the first quarter. They've built the lead up there. Then they're trailing there in the second quarter. No, they rip off a 6-0 run at the end. They have the lead there now, 69-64. Kept that going in the third. It's just, again, this idea of like maybe the team takes their foot off the gas. Maybe they're a little tired. And it's like Indiana ain't. Like they're like, all right, let's run, let's go. It's like this is when they keep striking here. It's like these final couple minutes of these quarters is when they get their separation. And then in this one, held on, didn't give up that 20-point lead. Pretty impressive stuff. And again, just a masterful Haliburton game. But let's get into some random notes.
Random.
Good work, JD. Forgot we had the random intro there. I guess let's start with John Haliburton. How many times did they show him? We had set the line at 2.5.
Interesting.
So go ahead. Why do you say interesting? Because when they showed him is the problem here?
They didn't show him until the game was well in hand.
Yeah.
I mean, you're seeing here, that's Tyrese Haliburton's final line, 32, 12, and 15. And I think that's the first time we saw Johnny H. So I think they showed him 2 times before the end of the 48-minute buzzer.
I think so, too.
Was off. And then they showed him a lot of times as soon as the game was over.
Yeah, I think you're right. By my count, it was 2 times within the actual 48 minutes of action.
Yep.
And it came much later. I thought it'd be one of their early Ali LaForce stories. But it wasn't. It was a late Ali LaForce story. And then it helped that his son was doing something historic with the triple-double and 0 turnovers. So then we got a lot of John. But I guess the under hit.
He did bring the towel back with him, though.
Of course.
Yeah. You think he just has one Tyrese towel or several? I mean, why would you change a lucky towel at this point?
I think he's got one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was late that they showed him. I was surprised by that.
Yeah.
And I was a little surprised by Ali LaForce's second question. Was about Dad. It was about the game for Tyrese Haliburton post-game, and then who'd you do it for? Oh, yeah, that guy up there, yeah. That was an early ask, I thought. Well, I don't know why I'm considering it an early ask.
An early ask.
I thought we'd have him earlier on, but Ali's reports were too important. They trumped John Haliburton, which was a big story coming into this game.
Big story. Well, Ali had to go with the Neesmith ankle injury update early in the game. I wonder if he doesn't twist his ankle in Game 3, do we lead with John Haliburton in the suite?
Yes.
As her first hit. I think so. I do. But
maybe, because I think her second hit was about Josh Hart and whether or not it was his idea to come off the bench.
That's true.
He probably wants to move back into the starting lineup because it's not going well on the bench.
No, it's not.
He had, 5 turnovers last night?
Yeah, he was really out
5
of
of
rhythm.
them.
He was frustrated on a couple of those. I think he was thinking he was getting hit. Maybe it warranted a call, but yeah, he has some bad ones. I mean, Brunson had a garbage one to start the second half too. Like, credit to the Pacers defense. It's all over the place and all that, but like, there's just some sloppy play.
Bridges had
from
3.
The Knicks.
Bridges were 3
Some brutals.
lazy turnovers.
Yeah.
Lazy.
So anyway, the John Haliburton sightings, I guess, hits the under, the 2.5 line I had yesterday. How about this? Rick Carlisle getting a quick little spit in to a cup here. We got the clip early in the game. They went over to him. This was after a challenge. And now
he's cutting weight.
he doesn't have chew or anything like that. It didn't look like a dirty spit. Right?
No.
It just had some saliva that he wanted to get out of his mouth. But I mean, be careful with that cup right there. That's where my mind immediately went.
Oh, somebody could touch that thing.
Oh yeah.
Ugh. I don't like that.
That's pretty gross. Like, does he at least write Rick Spit Cup or something on it?
Rick Spitz?
Classic.
How about this? Spike Lee finally in attendance there in Indiana. So are Chalamet. So are Ben Stiller. But Spike Lee had a crazy look. We'll focus on the hat. I've never seen a hat like this that Spike Lee had, but look who's behind him there. We got Spike Lee, Leigh. There's Lily behind Spike. I have to admit, when I sent this photo this morning, I didn't notice Lee Ellis in the background, and then JD pointed it out to me. I'm like, what?
Very funny.
I'm like, oh yeah, there he is. So.
You think they traded glasses at all?
Wow.
Hey, I might. Let me try those on. You can try mine.
Well, when JD in the Slack said, "Oh, do we want the one with Lee?" Because I sent a couple photos of Spike with the hat. I'm like, what? The one with Lee Ellis? And then I thought, do you mean Lee Ellis put on Spike Lee's hat? So then I went to Lee's Instagram and I'm like, no, I can't find it. So, oh, there he is. He's in the background. So,
and I've never seen a hat like that before.
He had a great. Did you see his entire look?
Oh man, yeah. Spike Lee wears garments that no other person has ever purchased. He's got like that weird jersey of Jalen Brunson, but it's also a bubble down vest that kind of like Christmas trees out,
yes,
or something like that. Unusual garments. What would you call that hat?
Yeah, it's a tough one.
I don't know. It has vibes of like a train conductor, I guess.
There's a little conductor to it, yeah.
Yeah, it's shaped like a
it's weird.
bucket.
What's it made out of?
I don't
Is it
know.
felt?
I don't know. Oh, there's the other
Yeah.
angle.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, it does look like it's made out of felt.
I love it.
What a look.
You'd wear that? You'd wear that hat?
I'd wear that hat. I mean, he's just so unique. It's like I gotta copy that guy. You can see where it's stitched on the sides there, but the brim is, it's kind of like the biker brim, the motor or the cyclist
Yeah.
brim.
Like a
It's-
Mars Blackman sort of modified lid there. This is definitely an indoor hat. Don't you think? It's not keeping the sun off your
No,
face.
it's not. Did you see the clip of Pat McAfee getting the crowd all hyped up, basically saying, "Hey, send these celebs home to New York"?
Yeah.
Pretty funny.
Just swearing.
just calling out.
Just cussing out Timmy and Spike and Ben. Send them home with their ears ringing. You can see the Pacers bench, Obi Toppin, Thomas Bryant, James Johnson, laughing as he's doing this. That was a great, celeb get hyped up promo for sure.
It was.
Yeah.
Speaking of celebs, one of them there, Triple H. Was in attendance, sitting right there by the Pacers bench. There was a great shot at the end of the game. Haliburton shaking his hand. Thank you, Mr. Triple H, for coming to the game. But
Well, it was more Triple H saying, "Hey, can I shake your hand?"
I got to get going. I felt like he was like, "I gotta go." That's what he was saying. Great game, kid. But
I saw Haliburton post-game was like, yeah, it was awesome that my dad was there, but Triple H was there too, and that was pretty fire.
Hey, he's a wrestling fan, man. I bring up Triple H, though, because I think Josh Hart was inspired by Triple H in attendance, because he dropped like a leg drop on Ben Matherin's face here, like Hulk Hogan style here. Bang! This was in the fourth quarter. Pretty nasty. It was amazing that he was okay from it. Look at this angle.
Him.
Yeah, Liz. Well executed, though.
Yeah,
for
this
Hart.
actually made
Should've
me
went for the pin.
respect the Hulk Hogan leg drop.
Leg drop.
I was like, that doesn't look like it actually hurts.
I guess Hogan didn't drop it on their face.
Nah, usually on the chest. Usually on the
and
chest.
they're on a mat
Or
that
on
goes
a wood
boing.
floor.
Yeah.
Matherin's head definitely hit the floor.
Yeah.
big time.
There's
Yep.
no doubt, because earlier in the playoffs, Amen Thompson also went to the floor after a hard hit, but his hair was big enough, I think, to cushion some of that. I don't think his head went bouncing off the floor. In this one, Matherin literally is hitting wood. That sucks.
End of the third quarter too. I didn't grab the clip, but Brunson got tangled up with Matherin. Remember they went sort of hip tossed each other to the floor. It was right near the end of the third, and then they started John, or at least Brunson was really pissed. There was a great camera shot of Matherin at the free throw line, and Brunson behind him talking.
Oh, yeah.
Matherin was sort of doing a pretty good job of ignoring him, because Matherin is he's known to get into it as well. I thought it was a cool shot. You know the part I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He was not happy with Matherin.
Yeah, Brunson was saying, what was he saying? That's my shot, or that's my ball. That's my ball, over and over again.
Yeah, that was a brutal foul on Benedict Matherin's head, but a beautiful foul was Karl Anthony Towns grabbing a hold of Miles Turner's wrist and recreating the creation of Adam from the Sistine Chapel. I've never seen that kind of foul. Just hand around wrist. A lot of people were saying, how is this a foul on Cat? It's because he's the one that's grabbing the wrist
him
completely here.
Yeah, when you see just the photo like this,
Yeah.
you're like, okay, why would that be a foul on anybody? But yeah, one guy is grabbing here.
Just the yank arm.
I don't want you up in that action, so let me just pull you back.
There was also a time when Karl Anthony Towns was shooting free throws in the third quarter, and you could hear a Pacers fan meowing. Meow, 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 meow.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, pretty funny.
Well
The
done.
Pacers fans were great last night. They brought out all their legends. Darren Collison, George Hill, Lance Stevenson, Antonio Davis, Danny Granger.
I was going to say Danny Granger was there, yeah.
They brought a ton of them. There was a clip of George Hill doing the beer chug in the front row. He chugged it, although I think the director said, "Get off him! Cut! I don't think he wanted to show an entire beer chug. We're civilized here. Did you see what we did in Game 3? Roy Hibbert chugged a bottle of water. We stayed there for the whole time. That's cool. Bottle of water, cool. doing a whole beer thing. Nah, we're better than that. We're not the Milwaukee Bucks. Remember when they showed a couple Green Bay Packers?
Yeah.
We had Aaron Rodgers versus David Bakhtiari.
Nice.
That was a back and forth little
Chug off.
chug fest. Nah. We're more civilized than them. We don't do that kind of thing. But it was nice to see. Yeah, Danny Granger. Travis Best again. He came back again. Lance Stevenson got the crowd hyped. That was fun. I thought Tibbs was pretty funny in an audio assist, hearing him saying, "No jogs! Sprints! Don't leave the ball unguarded. We're better than that." You don't usually hear someone say, no jogs. No jogs.
That's our running podcast coming this fall.
No jogs. Never heard it before. Sprints. Directly to Karl Anthony Towns, I think. But I guess they weren't sprinting hard enough. He was right.
Speaking with the exercise angle, what do you think of Shaq doing bicep curls with Underdog as they were going, like showing them up, getting ready for the halftime show?
Yeah.
We know obviously about
strong,
these guys.
man.
Very strong. Underdog
Yeah.
is tiny. He is short, but he's
Still
not
hard to lift a person.
Yeah, and
because
he's like
they move.
not super slight. I don't know what Underdog weighs, but
I'm guessing he's curling 130 pounds
I
there.
think he weighs more than that.
Yeah, I don't know.
130 to 150, depending.
Picking him up like a
You know, he's been
child.
on the road a lot, I'm sure, during the playoffs.
He is,
Gained some weight.
I know I did when we got back from 3 days in New York. I just felt like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man terrorizing the city.
just from all the food and
Well, more so of not doing anything.
Yeah.
No exercise, man. No exercise. I'm not like Task getting up early to go work out on the road.
True. We weren't even walking around New York that much. Sort of crappy weather, and we were
raining.
all within one sort of like area. We
Yeah.
didn't have to walk very far.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Walking in New York sucks when it's raining, though.
Oh yeah.
I'm walking here.
I just got soggy shoes for days. I can still feel it. Ugh, the
Oh.
water in between my toes. Gross.
The only other note I have was late in the third quarter again, Haliburton feeling it. He hit a 3 in Brunson's eye. And then I thought he did he didn't know what to do with the celebration, but I thought he gave us a quick sort of Brunson sort of celebration to mock him because he just splashed it in his face. And then when he was running back on defense, he gets clocked by Brunson and like another Pacers, like they just bang into him. Did you see this? He's like, whoa, holy crap. Like it was like, I don't think it was on purpose from Brunson. I think he got bumped. Anyway, just like Haliburton just got clocked going back. But he sort of gave the Brunson sort of 3-point to the face celebration. So yeah, it was quick. They didn't get a great shot of it, but that's my final note. Any other random notes?
No,
in this
I
game?
just can't stop thinking what Lee Ellis's favorite Spike Lee movie is.
Wait, are you setting up for a joke right
No,
now?
no.
Okay.
Like, I mean, just probably He Got Game.
Yeah, that's what he
a
would
basketball movie.
say. But then you never know with Lee. He could come out of nowhere with something. You're like, what? He'd probably go with that, though.
Yeah, that would be my guess. I
Yeah.
mean, Do the Right Thing, obviously a classic.
Yeah.
New Spike Lee movie coming out this summer. Going to be great.
With Denzel?
Highest to lowest, yeah.
And that's why he was not in Game 3 in Indianapolis.
He was promoting stuff?
I think they said he went overseas. Like Denzel demanded he go somewhere to promote this
Cans?
movie. Yeah, I think so.
Maybe.
Both cans?
Unless they were joking on the broadcast. They brought that up. Reggie was saying it.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah.
We also did see a Denzel Washington. He's doing a play in New York or something right now. It was like Denzel and Jake Gyllenhaal on our very
Yeah,
few
that's
walks on the
done.
street.
That's done.
That's done?
Yeah.
Let's tear down that
Was
banner
it
then.
Macbeth? He was doing.
I think you're right.
It was Shakespeare for sure.
Oh, okay.
was-
Did you look into going to it, JD, when you were in New York?
I did.
And instead you saw?
Glengarry going. Glengarry. Oh fuck. Glengarry. Glen Ross.
It's not easy to say.
It's not easy to say.
Othello.
Othello. That's what.
Othello, yes.
Oh. But Glen Ross, you had all the stars in it.
Yeah.
Culkin.
Odenkirk, McKeon, and Burr.
Nice.
Yeah. So good.
It was good.
Yeah. It's great.
These are the Glengarry leads.
Sticking with this game for a second, Haliburton, to circle back to him, 32 points, 12 boards, 15 assists, 4 steals, 0 turnovers. I was wondering, where does that rank? That game, that's a hell of a box score. Where does it rank in regards to best performances of the playoffs so far? So I fired up Basketball Reference this morning to try and figure that out. So JD, hit me with that top 5.
Top five.
Yeah, top 5 player performances from the postseason so far. Now, I had one criteria when I was looking on Basketball Reference. Had to come in a win, I decided. All right, pretty important. This whole point of this damn thing had to come in a W for the best games. So that eliminated, Jokic had a 44-15 game, came in a loss. Donovan Mitchell had a 48-point game, came in a loss to the Pacers. Tatum had a 42-point game versus the Magic. That was in a loss. LeBron had a couple actually really good box scores in losses to the Wolves. So I removed those. These are the top 5 playoff performances in a win, and I ranked them by game score. Nothing subjective here. I wanted to see, where does Haliburton's rank game score? For those that don't know, that's a rough measure of a player's productivity for a single game. Hollinger came up with it. It's taking into account sort of the entire box score, right? In terms of your efficiency and not turning the ball over and all the other stats. So I was shocked. Haliburton's game 4 last night versus the Knicks, number 5 on the list. That 32, 12, and 15 game with 0 turnovers and the 4 steals. A 36.4 game score. And I was like, wow, there were 4 better performances in regards to that stat? Yes, there were. Let's go through them. Jokic, game 4 versus the Clippers, just beat Haliburton. 36.7 game score. 36 points, 21 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 2 turnovers. That was the game that tied that series 2-2 versus the Clips. I was like, okay. Sticking with that series. Kawhi Leonard's game 2 in that series versus the Nuggets. 37.4 game score for Kawhi. This one all was about his efficiency. He scored 39 points, shooting 15 and 19 from the floor. 5 of 5 at the line. He sprinkled in 5 assists, 3 boards, some defensive numbers. He was a +6 in that game. That was a 1-possession game. That was a 105-102 win for the Clips. That one, that makes sense because it's just so efficient. 15 and 19, that was like when it was like, ooh, that's looking like Raptors Kawhi there from the 2019 championship run, if you remember that game. Number 2 on the list, Anthony Edwards, game 4 versus the Lakers. 37.9 game score. He scored 43 points. He had 24 in the second half. He did a lot of his damage at the free throw line. He went 14 of 17 in that game, but he hit 5 threes from deep. He had 9 boards, 4 of them on the offensive glass, 6 assists, and only 1 turnover. And that was in the game that really sort of put away the series for Ant there in game 4 to put them up 3-1. But the number 1 playoff performance, according to game score, this postseason, Jamal Murray's game 5 versus the Clippers. How wild is this list? 3 of these games, 3 of these performances in that series. Jamal Murray, game 5 versus the Clips, 39.9 game score, 43 points on just 1 free throw attempted. He went 1 of 1 at the free throw line, 17 of 26 from the floor, 8 of 14 from deep, 5 boards, 7 assists, 3 steals, 1 block, and only 1 turnover for Kitchener's finest in that game 5 that put them up 3-2 in the series. So, yeah, there you go. Those are the best ones according to game score. Now, a couple honorable mentions. Tatum had a great series-clinching game 5 versus the Magic. Monster game from him. Brunson had a 39-12 game 4 versus the Celtics in the second round. That was the game that Tatum actually got injured. Huge game from Brunson. Gary Trent Jr. and Buddy Hield both had games this postseason where they hit 9 3-pointers each. They make sort of the short list here. And then my final note, SGA has 3 of the top 13 best game scores that came in a win this postseason. I think he's a little lower on these. I thought he would be in one of these top 5s, but, maybe some of the efficiency numbers. His best was probably game 2 versus the Wolves here in the West Finals. Really strong efficiency in that game. He only had 1 turnover as well to 8 assists. So otherwise, he's had a lot of good performances, as a lot of these guys have. When you add the losses, there's a lot of Jokic in the monster numbers he put up.
I think he also had like a 42-22.
He did.
In a win.
He did.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
I'd also maybe throw Aaron Nesmith game 1 against the Knicks into the mix.
8 3-pointers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Save the game for him.
Yeah. Again, this was not subjective. This was just like game score. Let's see what the numbers say. Again, I thought Haliburton would be higher, but you're right. There are other performances where you're like, that's huge. That changed the series.
Yes.
It's a completely different series if the Knicks just win that game.
Yeah.
So, huge one.
A lot of crying Knicks fans while we were in New York in a bar because of Aaron Nesmith.
That
really.
was still crazy.
Yeah.
I keep thinking about those people that left. They're like, we got it. Game 1, Knicks, baby. Let's go party, boys. Get your jackets. I already paid the bill. Let's go. There's 90 seconds left or 2 minutes left. We're up huge. Let's rock.
See ya.
And then they found out, I don't know, maybe on their phones or maybe in the morning. Who knows? But there you go. Tass, I'm going to turn to you now because you got some numbers when it comes to the all-rookie teams that were announced not too long ago.
Yeah, they were announced last week. The all-rookie teams. Those two standard teams that come out. And when the 24-25 teams were announced, Skeetsy brought up the question, how many all-star games will these guys make? Well, here are the teams. Just as a reminder, the first team, Savon Castle, Zach Edey, Zachary Risache, Alex Sarr, and Jalen Wells.
Yep.
And the second team, Matas Buzelis, Bub Carrington, Donovan Klingen, Yves Misi, and Khalil Ware.
Right.
We kind of set a line at 4.5 all-star appearances for their career.
Right.
I think we're primarily looking at the first team. So there were some questions. Do players from the second all-rookie team make all-star games? Well, we went through the history to check it out.
Whoa.
Are they MVPs? Do they come from the second all-rookie team? You'll be surprised. How many all-star appearances do the good all-rookie teams get? How many do the bad ones get? What's the range here? Was there a year where all rookies made 0 all-star appearances? It's possible. We'll see about that. Our man Dan Lanzara, Dan Lan, he goes by. He did the research. He sent it in. He said, this is what I found from 2000 to 2020. So he did 21 years of research. Now, I'll just say this note before we get into them. 15 of the 21 years had double digits in all-star appearances for all-rookie first-team members. So that's a big number. But let's get through them. We'll go through a couple different ways here. First, let's start with the good one.
Okay.
The team that had 55 all-star appearances, not 50-50, 55 all-star appearances for the first team. That's what you would you think about it the last 21 years? It's probably the LeBron draft. It is 55 all-star games. LeBron had 21, Wade had 13, Bosh had 11, Carmelo Anthony had 10, Kirk Heinrich, he didn't make an all-star team. But the second team got one. Josh Howard, he got one all-star appearance.
Josh Howard.
Wow.
Honestly, that's crazy because when you look at this graph, if it was just LeBron James, he would have the second most all-star appearances of any first team. Full all-rookie team.
Quite the anomaly.
Right?
Yes.
He has 21 all-star appearances, and 2013 right there has 22 is the most.
Yeah, that was the second highest. 12-13 was Anthony Davis with 10, Damian Lillard with 9, Bradley Beal with 3, Dion Waiters and Harrison Barnes. They didn't make it. Although you got a second team appearance. Andre Drummond had a couple all-star appearances.
Yeah.
And we'll wrap up the top 5 teams here. 11-12 was the third place one, but they got some second teamers in there, so they get the head nod over 07-08. 11-12 had 20 all-star games. Kyrie 9, Kawhi 6, Clay 5, so you get more of those, I'm sure. To wrap up the team, Ricky Rubio, Kenneth Faried, and somehow Iman Shumpert and Brandon Knight all made the all-first team just because of a tie in voting. And Brandon Knight, he almost made an all-star game. It got kind of close. We were talking in the NBA TV days during the starters.
Brandon Knight?
He was a Milwaukee Buck. He was riding with Giannis. Yeah, it was a debate. Wow. Brandon Knight almost made it. Second team, Isaiah Thomas had 2 all-star appearances. 07-08, 20 all-star games. This is an interesting one because it's heavy Kevin Durant. Durant 15. Horford 5. That wraps it up. Jeff Green, Luis Scola, Al Thornton. Did not
Al
make
Thornton.
it. Yeah,
wow.
A second team had none, but they had a great name. Jamario Moon. And to wrap up the top 5, 15-16 got 17 all-star appearances that are just going to go up because Jokic has 7, Kat has 5, Booker has 4, Porzingis has 1. Porzingis could be a one-and-done guy, maybe.
Absolutely.
Probably.
And Jahlil Okafor, he had 0. Second team, D'Angelo Russell, he got 1. All right, so let's get to the bad ones over the last 21 years. 6 had single digits on their first team. So the first team from the 16-17 year just had 7 all-star games, and it's all Embiid. Embiid had 7. That's it. He missed his first 2 seasons. Then he had 31 games where he didn't make it the first 3 seasons of his career. Then 7 straight all-star games. So just a unique career. We'll see if he makes some more. Dario Saric, Buddy Hield, Willie Hernan Gomez, and Malcolm Brogdon did not make all-star games, although Malcolm Brogdon did win a 6th Man of the Year.
Willie Hernan Gomez was first team all-rookie?
Yeah.
That's a bad draft. Because you're saying Embiid made it, right? Playing 31 games in his 3rd season.
Yeah.
Made first team all-rookie.
Yeah, he was.
That's a bad draft.
Yeah,
That is a brutal draft.
I guess it's the draft from 2 years prior because he was drafted earlier. Or no, I shouldn't say that. He was just lumped in. You're right.
Yeah.
He was the guy. You're right.
It's the one where
That was his rookie
Brogdon
season,
wins
but
Rookie of the
he
Year.
sat out
You're
2
right.
years. Yeah.
The second team, for some reason, the second team that year was way more stacked. I don't remember why the voting went this way, but Jaylen Brown, he was on the second team.
Okay.
Brandon Ingram was on the second team, and Jamal Murray was on the second team, who hasn't made an All-Star game, but Brown's made 4, Ingram has made 1.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Go back to the voting. Why did that happen? Why were Sarge Heald, Willie Hernan Gomez voted over Jaylen Brown and Brandon Ingram?
Hernan Gomez that is odd.
Was he a Knick then?
His
East Coast
first
bias?
year.
I think
Let me look him
he
up.
might have been.
Anyway,
2013 draft, I think, is also kind of funny because it's Giannis is the 15th pick, but he made second team, and Rudy Gobert is the 27th pick. Didn't make it either of the all-rookie teams, so their number is very, very low.
yeah.
And just to go back, Willie Hernan Gomez, he averaged 8 and 7 for the Knicks. Played a lot of games.
Knicks
Started
bump.
some. Yeah, got a Knicks bump. Guess that's why he made first team. And Brown and Ingram and Murray, better careers, obviously, but didn't have like lights out rookie seasons from what I remember. So that's
Well,
why
I guess so.
Yeah.
Just mentioned this next team here in 2000, going way back. Dan Land doing the research way back. There's 6 All-Star games in 2000. This is an interesting one because the second team nearly as many as the first. First team, Steve Francis had 3. Elton Brandon had 2 All-Star appearances. Wally Zerbiak had 1. Andre Miller had 0. Lamar Odom had 0. Although he just went to Trump's crypto dinner, so he's got lots of money going on, I guess. He did all right. A second team, nearly as many as the first, as I said. 5 All-Star games from Sean Marion had 4, and Meta World Peace on the second team. He had 1 as well. Let's get to the 4 All-Rookie teams since 2000 that have had under 4.5 total All-Star appearances. Now, this one is going to change, I assume. This is the most recent one. In 2020, we got 4 All-Star appearances for Zion and Ja Morant combined. You assume that that's going to go up. Zion, maybe not Zion.
I don't assume it's hard as I used to assume.
Right. Yeah, Morant more likely than Zion, I assume. But who knows? I mean, who
He
knows?
wasn't great this year.
Yeah. Kendrick Nunn, Eric Pascal, and Brandon Clark round out the first team.
Eric Pascal.
I don't think those 3 are going to make any more.
Wow.
I don't think so. Unless Kendrick Nunn makes the Panathinaikos EuroLeague. That's where he's playing.
Nice.
I think so. I think he's definitely playing in Greece. Tyler Hero's on the second team. He made 1. So they kind of technically have 5. Anyway, moving on. Only 2 All-Star appearances for a first team in that one that you mentioned, Trey, that 13 draft. So 13-14, Victor Oladipo had 2. Then none from the rest of the first All-Star, or the first All-Rookie team, I should say. Michael Carter-Williams wins Rookie of the Year, but he had 0 All-Star appearances. Trey Burke, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Mason Plumlee round out the first team, while Giannis Antetokounmpo was on the second team.
Okay.
9 All-Star appearances for that guy. So maybe we're going to have somebody on the second team, like a Matas Buzelis turn into Giannis Antetokounmpo. Probably not. But
No, I love to hear
You
that.
would love
I love
that.
to hear that.
Well, maybe
Two-time
a few.
MVP, NBA champion. Yeah, sure, maybe.
Hall of Famer.
I love it.
14-15.
Keep growing, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys.
Put some muscles on.
Yeah.
We got to get him in here, get some of Tass's Greeky Freaky yogurt.
Work that up, man. Work that proteina up. 14-15. That's an interesting one because there was only 1 All-Star appearance for that first team. That was the Andrew Wiggins draft in 14. Nikola Mirotic, Nerlens Noel, Alfred Payton, Jordan Clarkson. They didn't make one. Only Andrew Wiggins with that 1
the
All-Star
one.
appearance. Although the second team has Zach LaVine on it, who has 2 All-Star appearances.
And Jokic was drafted that season in 2014, but he didn't come over until his second year and then made first team all-rookie in 15-16, but he wasn't a rookie that season.
Oh, yeah,
Doesn't
that's a
count.
good one. And another all-rookie team that just had 1 All-Star appearance from both teams. It's 0-1. Kenyon Martin had 1 All-Star appearance. Mike Miller won Rookie of the Year and 6th Man of the Year once, but 0 All-Star appearances. Mark Jackson, Darius Miles, and Morris Peterson round out the first team. Second team had 0 All-Star appearances.
Not this Mark Jackson.
No. Big man Mark Jackson.
Man Mark
Yeah.
Big guy.
Unstoppable, baby.
Not Mama, there goes that man Mark Jackson. It was the other Mark Jackson.
Yeah. Mark Jackson's still working on Philadelphia 76ers broadcasts. Sometimes I know it's the big guy because they go to the studio and he's there standing up. They do the stand-up.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
He's a monster beside another guy who's very small. So I know it's the big guy. Anyway, here's a couple interesting all-rookie teams where there's MVPs on the second teams. 2009-2010, that's Steph Curry's 11 all-star appearances. He finished on the first all-rookie team along with Darren Collison, Taj Gibson, Brandon Jennings, and Tyreek Evans, who won Rookie of the Year but never appeared on an all-star game. So that's all Curry with 11 all-star appearances. Then on the second team in 2010, James Harden, 11 all-star appearances, MVP, 75th anniversary team, all that. So you got an MVP on the second team. Same thing happened in 2019 recently. First team, the numbers are only going to get higher because that was Luka, Trey, Jaren Jackson Jr., 5, 4, and 2 all-star appearances for those guys, along with DeAndre Ayton and Marvin Bagley. Then you got Shea coming from the second team, coming from the rope. Yeah, he made the second team with the Clippers. He's got 3 all-star appearances and a friggin' MVP.
Brunson didn't make either of the teams. He's in that draft as well. Multiple-time all-star.
Yeah.
He did not.
Yeah.
That second team was interesting because it's Shea, Colin Sexton, Landry Shamet, Mitchell Robinson. Lots of guys still playing.
Wow, guys that are playing in the same series that Brunson's
Weird,
playing
yeah.
on his team.
Yeah, and Kevin Herter rounds up that second team.
Red Velvet.
And there's another 8 all-rookie teams. I didn't mention that number. I mean, we can go through them if you want to hear some names. But they finished, way higher than this 4.5 all-star appearance number that we're throwing out on these 10 guys.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Like, how do we feel about how we came up with 4.5? Like, sounds like wasn't bad, like a decent line to set it at with what you're giving. Obviously, some go under, some of course go over. Depends on if you hit a superstar or not, or two.
Yeah, there's not. I mean,
brutal.
yeah. After doing the analysis of the last 21 years, only 4 here that are under 4.5 in terms of all-star appearances. Only 4 of the 21.
4.
But it could happen. It's all about these 10 guys. It's possible.
I am taking the over 4.5 if that's our line for these current 2 all-rookie teams. The totality of their all-star appearances.
Wait, are we saying first or second?
I'm saying
that's a good
both
question.
of them for sure. That's what we were originally saying, but I know we're just doing the numbers of the first team.
Yeah,
that'll be.
You don't get a lot from the second team, but they can give you a little boost. That's for sure.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, Matas Buzelis, Donovan Clingan is definitely a possibility. I think Donovan Clingan is definitely a possibility.
Yeah, I could
plays.
see an all-star maybe in his future.
Yeah.
Not a ton though.
More so are coming from that first team of Stephon Castle, Zach Edey, Zachary Risa, Shea, Alex Sarr, Jalen Wells. But what do you think of Trey?
I'm feeling good with the under.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Maybe Castle if the Spurs
Yeah.
are really good and he somehow ends up as the second guy, which is seeming less likely now that they got the number 2 pick and traded for De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah,
So I think under is good. Like, I mean, the Blazers are going to have to rise quite a bit with Clingan as the main reason for him to be the guy. Zach Edey, I don't think is an all-star.
No.
Risa Shea, the Hawks would have to completely change the way they've played for the past 20 years and start winning some games for him to be the guy.
Yeah,
to
or
me,
he
it's
joins
3
another team
Well,
where
yeah.
he's the complimentary guy.
To me, it's 3 guys. It's Castle, Risa Shea, and it's Buzelis. And I'm like, can we get to 5 total from those 2 squads? But you need Castle to basically pop off and be like a 6-time All-Star or something like that. Then you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's some, like I'm saying, some random names from the last 21 years where you just see a guy come out of nowhere that we're not seeing right now.
Of course. Yeah.
That made second teams for some reason. I mean, Bob Carrington, who knows?
Wow, how about this for a take? Nikola Topic will make more All-Star teams than both the first and second team combined.
I'll take that bet. I don't think so. No.
He would make 1 is my guess.
All right, what a breakdown. Dan Land, man, crunching the numbers. You want to keep going on those other teams, or?
I mean, I
What
definitely
about
could.
this guy? I'll tell you
There's
that.
some randos that are interesting. I always find the ones that guys didn't make an All-Star appearance, but they made an All-NBA appearance, like Andrew Bogut on the 06 team, finished on the first team with Chris Paul, Darren Williams, made all the All-Star appearances. Bogut didn't get one. But he made an All-NBA team. Danny Granger on the second team. Just seen in Indiana. Or random ones like the 2011 All-Rookie teams. Great guys on the first team. Blake Griffin, John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins. And then you get a Paul George on a second team. 9 All-Star appearances for that guy. Maybe we get one of those. I was looking to see if there is a second team that had more All-Star appearances than the first team. Nah, it didn't happen. It didn't
that's
happen.
Okay. That's something.
Yeah, it got close. Like Kevin Love, Marc Gasol were on a second team. They had 8 between them, but they're on the same draft year as Westbrook and Derrick Rose, so that ain't gonna happen.
What about 2014, as in the 2013-14 draft? Because Giannis is second team.
That's a good question. Oh yeah, you're right. That happened. Yeah, that did.
Because he's got him.
He was on that Booz Ellis path, so
That was
makes sense to me. Draymond didn't make an All-Rookie team.
Guess not.
Hall of Famer.
Did not. Yeah, he didn't play much in his rookie year, right?
Yep.
So that's that. Joe Johnson was another good one. 7 All-Star appearances on a second team. He almost didn't make the All-Rookie second team. He was tied for the final spot in voting with Vladimir Radmanovic. You don't see that too often.
Wow.
Wait,
Yeah.
so he was tied, you said?
Yeah, he was tied in terms of voting. He barely made the second team. But he made
They put them both on, though?
They put them both on.
Okay, good. Yeah, because once you're looking through it and you see that there were 7 players on that first team after the 2011 draft, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's weird.
They're like, who cares? It's like they're tied. Who cares?
They're tied. Who cares? Literally, who cares?
Yeah.
It's generally with second teams, rookies. It's like, who cares?
Yeah, man. Some of us picked Brandon Knight as an All-Star.
I don't remember this.
He had a good year.
What year?
It was with the Milwaukee Bucks. So give me some numbers there.
I remember. Okay.
Okay, he played a season and a half with the Bucks. He averaged 18 a game during the 13-14 season.
Okay, I guess he would be at least an honorable
That's the
mention.
one.
They won 15 games that season. So they were bad.
13-14, they won 15 games.
Yeah,
and he was,
yeah.
Or maybe it was the
They
next
drafted
year.
Giannis one year, then they drafted Jabari Parker after they.
I don't remember
Yeah.
this.
Well,
I don't
maybe-
think he was ever close.
Well, the next year when it was the 14-15 year, he played 50 games for them, so he played till the All-Star game. He averaged 17.8.
Okay, that makes maybe more sense to be that year. That's a fun
They
list.
finished-
They won more games that year.
They finished 500. And there was, there's some weird guard positions that got All-Star game. I mean, it's a weird types of players that got voted to the All-Star game.
that would be a fun list. Guys that we had debates about whether they would be an all-star over our last 20 years. Because one that comes to mind, Aaron Aflalo.
Yep.
I remember that
Yep.
year we were like, I don't know, I think Aflalo's an all-star. We had a big debate about that. That would be a funny list. Especially guys that didn't ultimately make it, but we were stumping for them. Going to bat for them.
Yeah, that 15 year, that was the year we got 4 Atlanta Hawks. So Kyle Korver made it, if we're talking guards. Jeff Teague made it. So I think Brandon Knight was a debate.
We were like, we don't need that many Hawks. Put Brandon Knight
Those
in.
guards. John Wall and Kyle Lowry started
I
that
thought
year.
of another one that we that honestly did have a good first half of the season. It sounds insane. You're gonna be like, what? No way. Andrea Bargnani.
Yeah.
We did a whole
He
video
did have-
about
he
it,
did have
but
a
he
good
did have
year.
a good year there in the Raptors. So everyone was like, he deserves to be in the All-Star game. All right, great.
Lance Stevenson one year.
Yeah.
I think it was during the 13-14 year. He didn't get voted All-Star game, and it kind of sent their season into a tailspin because he started trying to play like he was an All-Star after that. That was the end of that era of the Pacers, him not making the All-Star team.
Yeah, the Bargnani all-rookie teams are sort of interesting because this is 07, led by 2 Portland Trailblazers,
Yeah,
LaMarcus Aldridge
yeah.
and Brandon Roy.
Yeah.
And then you had 2 Raptors also on the first team, and Andrea Bargnani and Jorge Garbajosa
He
snuck
made
in.
first team already.
Yeah, they had 6 guys on that all-rookie first team. Weird year, but to see 2 guys from 2 different teams, you don't see that very often. And then you had a Rondo and a Millsap on the second team, so they had lots of all-stars.
Good year for that one.
That was a good year,
Too
man.
bad Bargnani couldn't add to the list, just getting one.
That was close. It's sort of like Kristaps Porzingis-esque. He started that season really, really well. Like Kristaps started his season really well in New York. That was his all-star appearance. Then he got hurt. Bargnani also got hurt. That could have been it. That could have been it.
Bargnani,
When we
man,
came out with-
ahead of his time, man. It
was ahead of his time. We were
He
remaking.
was ahead of
He
his time.
legit was. I mean, I know I'm laughing, but He was a 7-footer that could actually shoot and play a little bit of defense. He would be better in today's game.
Defense.
Well, yeah, he's a big dude.
big, at least.
He's a big
Yeah.
dude. He's a big dude.
Who was the name that you were like most delighted to see when you were looking
Yeah,
through these
really
all
fun.
rookie teams?
Really fun.
Well, Garbajosa. For
Garbajosa, yeah. I mean,
Garbajosa's a
that
great
is
one.
a good one for sure.
I mean, it's fun to see Emeka Okafor again.
Nice one.
Great.
Nice one.
Well, guy who won Rookie of the Year, never made an All-Star game, unfortunately. It's a fun name, though. Al Jefferson. Okay, now I'm just going to go through names. Al Jefferson, an All-NBA appearance, but never an All-Star. One of those guys. That's about it in terms of names.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked to see, honestly, when I saw the 2019 all-rookie first team and Ayton and Marvin Bagley made it.
the Bagley.
Yeah.
That was a surprise to me.
Yeah, that Bagley got there, especially.
Yeah.
I will say the 18 team is interesting. Tatum, Donovan Mitchell, Ben Simmons, Markkanen.
Started hot.
Markkanen, I kind of just forgot about that he was a good rookie, I guess.
Yeah.
I felt like
Second
he came
year.
on
He
later
was a second-year guy, too.
because
Yeah.
he stayed. Yeah.
Well, no, because
No,
he sat
he's-
out his first year.
I sat out.
yeah.
And then Kuzma. That was a weird one. As,
Yeah,
as the
yeah,
fifth guy
yeah,
on that
it's
team.
Kuzma.
Just a weird team. Weird team.
Great stuff. Dan Land, thanks for all
Shout
your
out to
help with
Dan
that.
Land.
You're the man, Dan Land.
You're the man, Dan Land. All right. Well, tonight we got a game 4, 5.
Game 5.
Game
Yeah,
5.
they're all blurring
3-1,
together.
yeah, yes,
3-1
yes.
for the Thunder. Point is, they can make their second ever trip to the finals with a win tonight. Wrap it up in 5. You believe that is going to be the case, TK?
I do.
You are
I
on
do believe
record.
it.
This will be their first time back to the NBA Finals since 2012, if they can do it.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe Ant comes out with some fire tonight. Try and get that
Yeah,
back to Minnesota.
maybe he does.
Yeah, and I feel like Minnesota's got a good shot. I know one of our fans, it wasn't Dan Land, but somebody mentioned, did you see Minnesota last year after they won their game against Dallas in the conference finals? They just kind of played dead the game after that. So they're done. But that was different. I mean, they won the 4th game to go down 3-1. Then they lost game 5. So I think this is different in that they won earlier in the series. They won game 3. It's
I
different.
mean,
It's
so
different.
that was a gentleman's sweep last year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Indeed.
very different.
Yeah, it's different.
Very different, but let's see if the Thunder can get back to the finals or if the Wolves can give us a Game 6 back in Minnesota. We'll be here to talk about it at 10 a.m. Eastern. Join us in the Classic Factory then. Hit the like button, subscribe, podcast listeners, 5-star ratings and reviews. Until then, Clipper Road!
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, as the late, great Bill Walton used to say, it's not where you've been, it's where you are.
Embrace the day, people.